Hello everyone and welcome in to the PokerGO studio. This is the Big Blind. And I'm Jeff Platt here in Las Vegas, excited to bring you the ultimate test of knowledge on all things poker, Vegas, and gambling related. Also excited to welcome our contestants. First up, he is one of the most recognizable figures in the game, one of the newest podcasters out there as well. Catch the Mouthpiece with four-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner, Mike the Mouth Matusow. Mike, how are you, sir?
Hello, folks. Hello.
Hello, it is
I'm doing good.
It is great to have you here. Now, I've got to have the Mouthpiece second on the best poker podcast list. I am a little bit biased, as I just so happen to co-host the Poker News podcast with our next contestant, Poker News presenter, the glowing Sarah Herring. Hello, my friend.
Hello, my dear.
It is great to have you here as well. And we move on from great friends to bitter enemies. Rounding out our group today because of a contractual obligation. You know him as the World Series of Poker main event color commentator. Supposedly he writes also, not too sure. Norman Chat is here. Norman, I am sure you are thrilled to jump on this show.
You know your career has peaked when you're on this show and it's going downhill. Thank you for having me.
That's a very fair point. It is indeed good to have you here as well. All right, so our three players today start with 10,000 in chips. We use a limit hold'em betting structure. Maybe I should say limit Omaha 8 or better, considering we have one of the best 08 players in the world. That's Mike. We also have somebody who donates to Omaha High-Low Tournament Fields. That's Norman. Now, before our pre-flop action begins, players will see the hands category. They can base their betting on their confidence level in that category. Levels 1 and 2 consist of trivia questions from that topic. We'll have a question for the flop, the turn, and the river. Those questions get progressively more difficult. Now, once you send in your answers, we'll open up another betting round. You know the answer? Maybe fire off a bet or a raise. You don't know the answer, but you think a bluff will get through? Maybe fire off a bet or a raise. If two or more players remain in the hand after the turn, we will go to the river, which will always be set up as a tiebreaker question. Level 3, you will get the chance to bet some or all of the chips you've accumulated against the house. More on that later. This is a round 1 matchup. If you win today or if you finish in second today, you are on to our quarterfinals. Make it all the way to the finals. You are in the money. Third place worth $5K, second place worth $10K, first place is worth $15,000. So we did figure that we needed to put something else on the line for our outright winner today. And look at this beauty. Mike, this will look familiar to you. The Full Tilt Poker Strategy Guide Tournament Edition. Featuring a section from Mike Matusow. Chris Ferguson is in there as well. I believe this segment is on Sincere Apologies. And I think there's a customer service section somewhere in there. Not too sure. All right, Daniel, hit the music. Here we go. Level 1, the blinds are 100, 200. That means you can bet 200 on the flop, 400 on the turn. Age before beauty, so obviously Norman Chad has the button. Sarah is in the small blind. Mike is in the big blind. Let's take a look at our first hands category. That category is Vegas in Hollywood. All right, Norman, you will lead off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
Raise.
Norman is going to raise it up onto Sarah in the small blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
I'll call.
Sarah will make the call. Mike, you're in the big blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
I'll call.
Mike will make the call three-handed to this flop. Let's take a look at that flop question. In Vegas Vacation, which classic performer wines and dines Ellen Griswold?
Oh, gosh.
Answers, please.
Oh, what's his name?
Send in
oh,
your
gosh,
answers.
what's his name?
1997 classic starring
That's
Chevy
gonna be a
Chase,
legitimate Vegas film.
Beverly D'Angelo, Randy Quaid.
I know the answer to this.
Mike, we would advise against strong tells like that, but you do you.
Oh my gosh. Why is this happening? Why can't I think of who it is?
Oh, you can't think of it. Too bad. Mike, go with your best instinct. He's got no
I
chance.
can see him. I can see his
Go ahead, Mike.
face.
Hey, Mike, side bet. You don't get this one.
Send in
That's
your
his
answers,
nickname.
please.
Uh,
All right, our
know
answers are in. They are locked in. Sarah, you are first to act in this betting round. Since you're in the small blind, you can check or bet.
I check.
She will check it over to Mike. Mike, you can check or bet.
check. But I know the answer.
Mike is going to check over to Norman Chad. Norman, you can check or bet.
He said, I know the answer, and he checked?
I do believe so.
What type of ruse is that? Can he check raise me?
Absolutely,
Yes?
he can.
I'm going to open the door up for him to check raise me. I bet you, lowlife.
Wow, Norman is firing off a bet. Sarah, I believe that lowlife comment was not directed at you. You can raise, call, or fold.
I fold.
Sarah's going to lay it down. Mike, you can raise, call, or fold.
This ain't Omaha 8.
I know. I even know the name of his house he lives in. It's called Casa de Shenandoah. And I can't even remember the guy's fucking name.
Didn't you have to already put your answer in?
Again, our answers are locked in, so that's a little bit of a
It's
giveaway,
it.
but you do what you
What
want.
does he
I fold.
He's going to fold. That's probably a good laydown. Let's take a look at the correct answer. It was Mr. Vegas, which both Mike and Sarah said, but we would not accept that because we needed the gentleman's real name. That name is Wayne Newton. Newton
Wayne
with 40 acting credits to his name. And Sarah and Mike, I hate to break it to you, but
We
Norman
do the
said
answer.
Norman said Charlie Chaplin. Y'all two got bluffed by Norman Chad, and Norman Chad
This ain't Omaha 8.
becomes
Huh?
our new chip leader.
Oh my god.
Norman Chad, our chip leader with 10,800 in chips. Sarah and Mike tied
Wayne
for that number 2
Newton.
spot with 9,600. For this hand, Sarah has the button, Mike in the small blind, Norman is in the big blind. Let's take a look at this hand's category. Women in poker. Sarah, of course, will be holding
Oh,
a
for
seminar
fuck's sake.
on this topic later, but for now, she has the button. Sarah, you can raise, call, or fold. That women in poker phrase, it just never leaves you.
I will call.
Sarah's going to make the call on the button on the mic in the small blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
I want to raise.
It's going to raise it up over to Norman.
I will call.
Norman's
I will
going.
call.
Norman's going to make a fairly hesitant call around to Sarah.
Mike raises on women in poker. I have to be in on this. I definitely call.
Who to thunk
Well, I mean, you don't understand when. Never mind.
it? Okay, never mind. Mike just wants to see that flop question. Let's take a look. Who was the last woman standing in the 2018 WSOP main event? Answers, please. This year it was Jill Bryant. Congratulations to her. She finished in 116th
Oh, she's so
place
cute.
for $59,295.
Why is this happening?
Who was it last year? Answers, please.
Oh my gosh. Why is this happening? I could see her face. Why does this keep happening where I see their face with nothing?
Could be
Pretty
Wayne
face, though,
Newton.
Sarah.
Wayne Newton. I love the music.
5 seconds.
Why is this happening to me?
I wonder if that's a reverse
Three.
tell on Sarah's part.
2. Our answers are in. Mike, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
I'm gonna bet.
He is going to fire on the flop. Norman Chad.
Call.
Norman's going to make the call. Sarah.
I fold.
Sarah is going to lay it down.
Fuck this game.
Before we see what Mike and Norman said, let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is Kelly Minkin. She finished 50th for more than 156K. Also cashed this year. Also was the last woman standing in 2015 when she finished 29th. We take a look at our players' answers. Mike says no clue, so he tried to bluff Norman Chad this time. Norman's not falling for that. Norman had Kelly Minkin. Norman gets it right. Norman Chad
How would I
wins
know that?
his second hand in a row.
You know why I got that one? Because I'm the announcer at the 2018 World Series of Poker. That's why.
I know.
Yeah.
I just figured you couldn't remember a year back. That was my.
That's a very fair assumption by Mike Matusow.
There was so way too much weakness there, so I tried to bluff.
That's very
It was
fair.
so
That
bad.
shows you Norman does pay at least a little attention during the broadcast. Okay, so we take a look at our chip counts. Norman has
You're not playing with
11,800
kids here.
in chips. But Mike, you do have the button for this hand. Norman is in the small blind. Sarah's in the big blind. Let's take a look at this hand's category. Craps. We are going to the
Shit.
craps table for this one. Mike's already there. His chips are just resting on the rail at one of the Aria tables while he plays here with us. All right, Mike, you're on the button. You lead off our betting. Raise, call, or fold.
Call.
Going to make the call over to Norman in the small blind. You can raise, call, or fold.
Call.
Going to make the call. Sarah, you can check or raise.
I'll check.
Sarah will check. Let us see our flop question. What do you have to roll to hit a 6 the hard way? Answers, please.
Oh, I know this.
if you're playing that hard 6, what needs to pop up on the dice for you to win? Answers, please. Eventually, Sarah's going to throw off a reverse towel. And the I know this means she doesn't know, and the who is that means she does. Is that this time or not, though? Who knows? What do you have to roll to hit a 6 the hard way?
I do everything the hard way.
True.
That makes 2 of us.
All right, our answers are in. Norman, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Check.
Going to check it over to Sarah.
I will bet.
Going to bet. Mike. Wonderful accompaniment by Norman Chad.
I would like to raise.
Mike will raise it up on the button. Back to you, Norman. 2 bets to you.
Easiest call I've ever made in my life.
The easiest call he's ever made. Over to Sarah.
I call.
Sarah's going to make the call as well before we see what our players said. Let's take a look.
Hey, if you're not in last, if you're in last position with the right answer, do you have to keep raising or do you get a penalty?
You do whatever you want to do, Mike. How about that?
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm going by World Series rules. They might give me a penalty or something.
Well, when you're last to act, sure, you have to wait for Norman and Sarah to act before you. We do still play in order.
I do feel we all 3 are going to chop this one, though.
Well, let's take a look at the correct answer.
But then
Let's
we just
find out.
keep going. Then
Exactly.
there's another street and another
turn.
street.
The correct answer is 2 3s. Let's see what our player said. Norman said 2 3s, or in poker, deuce trays. Yes, that is correct. Sarah said 2 3s. That is correct. Mike said 3 3. That is correct. Everybody gets it right. Everybody moves on to the turn. Let us see that turn question. This craps term, used to refer to a roll of 11, was coined to prevent confusion with the number 7. Send in your answers. You hear this yelled plenty at the craps table. It might even be the craps version of one time. This craps term, used to refer to a roll of 11, was coined to prevent confusion with the number 7. Answers, please. All right, our answers are in. Norman, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
I'll check.
Norman's going to check. Over to Sarah. You can check or bet.
I'll check.
Sarah's going to check. Mike, on the button, you can fire off a bet or you can check.
I would like to bet.
He would like to bet. That bet is for 400. Norman, Chad, what say you?
Every ounce of my body tells me to check raise him because I've been waiting to check raise him since the 1998 World Series of Poker Omaha 8 opening day, but I will call.
But he will just make the call. Sarah, how about you?
I'll call. Why not?
Sarah says, why not? I will make the call. Before we see what our players said, let's look at what the correct answer is. That answer is Yo 11. Yo 11. Let's see who got that one right. Norman said snake eyes. That is incorrect. Sarah said 7 come 11. That is incorrect. Mike Matusow says Yo 11. And that is correct. Mike takes this hand down.
What is this like? It's the same thing as one time. I have played craps plenty of times, and I have never heard anyone say Yo 11.
What are you talking? I played craps. I played craps 3 times, twice with Phil Ivey, and all I heard was Yo 11, Yo 11.
Oh, sick brag.
So, with that win of that pot, Mike becomes our new chip leader, and that is a wrap on level 1. We will see you guys for level 2 next. Back here on the big blind, let us take a look at the chip counts. Mike Matusow, our very slight chip leader. He has 11,000 in chips. Norman Chad with 10,800 in chips. Sarah Herring with 8,200 in chips, but the stakes are going up. The blinds are 200, 400. That means you can bet 400 on the flop, 800 on the turn, and remember what is on the line today. Not just a berth in the quarterfinals for our top 2 players, but for the winner, the full tilt poker strategy guide. Ray Vitar on bankroll management. Howard Lederer with some good notes on disappearing.
Ray Vitar on bankroll management. I love it.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your support of these jokes. They are quite sharp. Norman Chad has the button. Now, Norman, I was your sleeper pick for the main event this year, right?
Yes.
And if you could go back, would you make the same sleeper pick?
If I could go back, would I make the same sleeper pick?
Would you pick me again?
If I could go back, would I get married the first time? No. If I could go back, would I get married the second time? No. Would I go back and take you as a sleeper pick?
Probably
no.
not. No.
You lasted like 15 minutes.
Would he go back and get married the third time? No. Would he go back and get married the fourth time? No.
I mean, I played a hand on day 2. I don't know if that helps. All right, so Norman on the button, Sarah in the small blind, Mike is in the big blind. Let's take a look at the category for our first hand of our second level.
Please be something I know.
How about Las Vegas hotels, Sarah?
Oh, I know about these.
Las Vegas hotels, the facts and stats of the Vegas hotels. Norman, you're on the button. That means you lead off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
Me aprietan mucho los zapatos.
I'm sorry?
Me aprietan mucho los zapatos. Call.
Diversity ain't my strength, but I raise.
It's not quite on you, Mike. Norman makes the call. We go over to Sarah. Sarah, you can raise, call, or fold.
I call.
Okay, Mike, now is your opportunity. You can check or raise. He is going to raise. He is going to raise.
I've been here for 40 years. If I don't know everything about every Vegas hotel, I deserve to go broke.
That's a very fair point. Norman.
Call.
Norman's going to make the call. Sarah.
Fucking fine.
I assume that's
call.
a call. That is
Hey, you watch your language, young lady.
Yeah, you're really one to talk, Mike. Let's take a look at this flop question. The Mirage is credited with ushering in the era of the Las Vegas mega resort. Which Las Vegas developer built it? Answers, please. Who was the first to think of Vegas and the effing Mirage, as Mike McDermott stated in Rounders? You guys can curse. I can't. Which Las Vegas developer built the Mirage? All right, our answers are in. Sarah, you are first to act. Since you're in the small blind, you can check or bet.
I will check.
She will check it over to Mike. Mike, you can check or bet.
Bet.
He's going to bet right into Norman Chad on the button. Can raise, call, or fold.
Call.
Monotone call. Sarah, onto you.
How much does this cost?
This
400?
costs 400. Yes, ma'am.
I don't even really know what a developer is.
That's pure honesty right there from Sarah Herring.
Okay. You already submitted your answer, did you not?
I did. But I don't know how much confidence I have in it. I think I should fold here.
Okay, Sarah is going to lay it down. Let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer? Steve Wynn, his first major casino on the Strip. The Mirage opened in 1989. Good fold. Sarah, let's see how Mike and Norman did. Mike said Steve Wynn. That is correct. Norman said Steve Wynn. That is correct. Both of them get it right. Both of them move on to the turn. Let's take a look at that turn question. By the way, Sarah did weigh in with MGM. Like the hotel maybe built it, or the
she's a journalist in Las Vegas, right? A broadcaster?
I do believe I do believe she's the media person of the year. Thank you very much. According to the
who hired her?
Awards.
Media person of what year? What media?
Listen. Here in
Wait a
Texas,
minute.
where I live, developers are called like Hovenian Homes or like something Homes. Like who's just one person is a developer? What does that mean?
Fair.
That's
Could have been a company.
Built the hotel.
Could have been a
They
company.
sold to MGM, but you were close.
You were close.
See there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
They did. Who was
Mike
it
and
now?
Norman,
It's my age.
we'll move on to the turn. Let's
Don't
see
be
that
jealous.
turn question. What is the oldest casino on the Strip? Answers, please. What is the oldest casino on the Strip? South Las Vegas Boulevard. The Strip is a little more than 4 miles in length. Send in your answers. All right, our answers are in. Mike, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
Bet.
Mike bets.
Call.
Norman, the
Call.
snap call. Let's take a look at the
Call.
correct answer. The oldest casino on the Strip is the Flamingo. It opened back in 1946. Bugsy Siegel ran the show along with Norman Chad. Let's see who got that one right. Mike Matusow said Flamingo. Norman Chad said Flamingo. Both of them get it right. Both of them move on to our river tiebreaker. And that tiebreaker is the MGM Grand is the largest single hotel in Las Vegas. How many rooms does it have? Send in your answers, please. The MGM Grand opened in 1993. Now features so many shows from Ka, Cirque du Soleil, to Cesar Millan show. He does have a show there. How many rooms does the MGM Grand have? All right, our answers are in. Let's take a look at the correct answer before we see what Mike and Norman weighed in with. The correct answer is 5,044 rooms. First, we'll take a look at what Mike guessed. Mike guessed 4,200, a little bit more than 800 on the mark. If Norman gets closer than that, Norman wins this hand. Norman said 5,005, a very good guess from Norman Chad. Just 39 off the correct answer.
They added 39 rooms I'm unaware of. It was 5,005. I don't know what those 39 rooms are.
You know, Norman, I'm glad you brought that up because I happened to reach out to the PR team at the MGM Grand to clarify, and they said 5,044.
Listen, you Bob Barker wannabe. You didn't reach out to anybody. You don't even know how to use a phone.
I did. It's windy at the MGM PR team.
The reason why Norman was so close and knew the numbers because every time his ex-wife kicked him out, he got moved into the room.
Wow.
That might be correct. Taking a look at the chip counts, Norman has 13,600 in chips. Mike has 9K. Sarah has 7,400. It is still anybody's game for this hand. Sarah has the button.
Yeah.
Mike is in the small blind. Norman is in the big blind. Let's take a look at our next category. Poker books. Not included in this category, Mike Matusow's Check Raising the Devil. It is a fantastic book, though. Also not included, Norman Chad's whatever he writes. I don't. You know what? Hold on. I'm hearing now that Norman does write for the Post. Very respectable. The New York Post. Very nice, Norman. All right, Sarah on the button, the New York Post. We'll lead off our betting. You can raise, call, or fold.
This is terrible. I can just bet a lot in the last round, right? If I really need
Sarah,
something.
remember, you can wager up to all of your chips on the last round.
In the end.
So no reason to panic.
I think I should fold this one now.
Going to lay it down on the button. Even though Sarah's an avid poker books reader, she will leave it up to Mike and Norman. Mike, it's on you. You can call, raise, or fold.
I'm going to fold.
Mike's going to lay it down. And right then and there, how about that, Norman Chad? Pre-flop. You take down this hand.
I was going to raise.
I didn't know. I've never read a poker book.
Let's see if you guys would have gotten this one. How about on the flop? Every hand revealed. The 2008 No Limit Hold'em Tournament Strategy Guide was written by which notoriously aggressive player? Who is it, Mike?
Gus Hansen.
That is correct. He took notes of every single hand from his Aussie Millions main event win. And on the turn, who wrote Hold'em Poker, the 1976 poker strategy classic?
I know that one, too.
Considered the first widely available book on the subject of poker. Who is it, Mike?
Sklansky.
Yep, it is David Sklansky. You probably should have hung in there on this category. Let's take a look at the river tiebreaker question, what that would have been.
Oh, my God, I know this one, too.
Phil Hellmuth's first book, Play Poker Like the Pros, was first released in what year? Give it to us, Mike.
2003?
That is correct, 2003.
Wow.
The same year as the Moneymaker boom. That was certainly good for book sales. This hand was not good for Mike. We got to figure if he goes on tilt.
I didn't know you're going to go and put poker books from my time. I mean, Phil Hellmuth calls me every day to tell me how great his poker book was back when he released it.
Well, we can certainly believe that.
And the other one in the middle, that was the only poker book I ever read.
Hold'em Poker from David Sklansky?
Yeah, that was when I first started. And then the other one was when Gus released it. He released it. Everybody was talking about it. So that was the only reason why I knew.
Mike, if Fedor Holtz released a book tomorrow on strategy, would you read it?
No.
Okay. Just double check.
Excuse my language. He's a great player, but I'm not like some people. I don't suck the Germans' dicks.
And the show has officially gone off the rails. So again, Norman Chad, our chip leader with 13,800 in chips. Mike has 8,800. Sarah Herring has 7,400. Mike has the button for this hand. Norman in the small blind. Sarah in the big blind. Let's take a look at this hand's category. That category is Poker Players Championship, one of the most prestigious tournaments of the year, the 50K 8-game mix at the World Series of Poker. All right, Mike on the button. You'll lead off our betting. Raise, call, or fold.
Can I ask you a question? If I'm on the button, why am I leading off betting?
Because this is pre-flop. And we're
You've
just
never
three-handed.
played three-handed poker before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fucking raise.
Okay, he is going to raise. So over to Norman.
Before I tell you what I'm going to do, Mike, are you going to throw your laptop into the swimming pool if you lose?
No, I need it for my podcast.
We've lost enough laptops at the Matusow residence into the pool after some tilt sessions.
I'll call.
Norman will make the call. Sarah, you can call raise or fold.
I guess I'll call.
She will hesitantly call. Let us see our flop question. The trophy for winning this prestigious event is named after which legendary player? Answers, please. They will add Philip, who is named to that trophy after his win this year. He beat Josh Aria. Heads up.
Flash, you're back. Come here, Flash.
Answers, please. Who is the trophy named after? All right, our answers are in. Norman, since you are in the small blind, you are first to act. You can check or bet.
I will check.
He will check it over to Sarah. The check whistle.
I'll check.
We'll check it over to
I gotta
Mike
save some chips.
and the cat.
Flash would like to bet.
A bet for 400 over to Norman.
Raise!
Oh, got him with the check raise, folks. Got him with the check raise. Back to Sarah Herring.
I think you're trying to squeeze Sarah out.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So that means it's 800?
Yes, ma'am. You already have
Things
400.
are getting
in there.
really dicey for me. And I can only bet in the end as much as I have.
Exactly.
See if we can bust her before the end.
This is the worst game.
I
All right,
should've called.
I fold.
Sarah's going to lay it down.
Should've
Mike.
called.
Yeah, man. You know what? They say you can't just call with the nuts on the end, so I raise back.
He is going to raise.
This isn't
from
like
the button.
there are no nuts in this hand. I'm going to call, but it's not like there's no nuts in this hand. There's no
The
board
nuts is
where you
the
know you have
winner.
nuts. You could be wrong with your answer. I'm
No, but
calling.
I can't be wrong, so
Mike-
I have to the nut.
Mike, I normally don't agree with Norman Chad, but he is absolutely correct in this scenario. Let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is Chip Reese. Chip, widely regarded as
I
the
would've
greatest
got it!
cash
Shit
game player
sticks.
in poker history. Ah, no, Sarah. Chip won the inaugural event in 2006. When he passed away the following year, the Chip Reese Memorial Trophy was introduced as his legacy. So you heard Sarah. She did get it, but unfortunately she folded. Let's see what Norman had to say. Norman said, Chip Reese. Mike said, Chip Reese. So Mike and Norman will go to the turn. Let's take a look at that turn question. The grinder, Michael Mizrachi, has won this event an amazing 3 times. Only one other player has multiple PPC titles. Who is he? Answers, please. Grinder shipped this one in 2010, in 2012, in 2018. An unbelievable accomplishment, one of the best in poker history.
He's a luck box.
All right, our answers are in. That means we start this betting round with Norman Chad. Norman, you can check or bet.
Heidi ho, all in, heidi ho.
It is a limit
All
game,
in.
but we'll take that as a bet of 800 over to Mike.
I'll raise him.
Mike will raise it up once again from the button. Norman.
Ooh, I'm shaking. Ooh, I'm shaking. Let me think. I'm on the
great.
clock. Let me think. I'm on the clock. Let me think. Call.
You're wasting our time.
The
Come on,
call
we gotta
from
get-
Norman. Before we see what Mike and Norman weighed in with, let's take a look at the correct answer. That answer is Brian Rast. Rasty won the 50K in 2011 and 2016. Let's see what our players had to say. Norman said
Good one.
Brian Rast. Mike said Brian Rast. Sarah not in the hand. She said it was Gordo, Mike Gordinsky. Incorrect, but whatever, Sarah. Keep firing off these answers. Let us move on
Thanks.
to our river tiebreaker question.
Is he okay with the answer if he misspelled Brian Rast? Okay, go ahead.
What is the combined total of Mizrachi's 3 Poker Players Championship victories? How much money did he earn from the 3 championship victories combined? Answers,
Does it have to
please.
be exact? I know, but I mean.
Well, it doesn't have to be exact. This is our river tiebreaker, Mike, so it's closest
gotcha.
to the correct answer. At least on our final hand, Mike understands the river tiebreaker. All right, our answers are in a massive pot here, 8K in the middle. Before we see what Mike and Norman had to say, let us take a look at the correct answer, and that answer is $4,249,699. Let us see what our contestants weighed in with. We start with Norman. Norman said $5.3 million, about $1 million off. If Mike gets closer, he wins the hand. You see the double fist pump. Mike's guess, $4.9 million. Mike Matusow wins the final hand of the second level, and that creates quite the intriguing final round. Our players go against the house next. All right, back here on the big blind, let us take a look at the chip counts. Mike the Mouth, our chip leader with 13,200 in chips. Norman Chad right there with 10,200 in chips. Sarah Herring still right there with 6,600 in chips. It is still anybody's game. I'm dead serious, Sarah. Now it is time to go.
I love your positivity.
It's time to go against the house. Our players are taking their stacks from the poker table, entering the pit, firing off against the casino. And remember, our first place prize is a valuable one. It's not just a berth in the quarterfinals. It's not just a high C in the quarterfinals, but it is a copy of the classic Full Tilt Poker Strategy Guide. We took the price tag off.
It's got a world-class section in there.
By
a world-class section in there.
By Ted Forrest. Yes, that is correct. By Ted Forrest, he wrote a world-class section on there. So there's no outright prize for second at this point.
Strategy.
But the second place finisher will also move on to our quarterfinals. Now, our players have the option to wager as much or as little of their stack as they so choose. After that wager is placed and submitted, they will see a video featuring a hand from a tournament and a multiple choice question on what action will be next in that hand. So, lady and gentlemen, please send in your wagers. Sarah has up to 6,600 in chips to wager. Norman is up to 10.2K. Mike has up to 13,200. Wagers, please. Just whenever you're ready, Norman. Just putting on a production here.
He's a little bit lost.
There we go.
If I had to announce that main event for the last 3 days, I'd be a little off too.
Ah, that's fair. I think you put in a little bit more than 3 days. Anyways, the wagers
I said
are
the
in.
last 3 days. The last 3.
I gotcha. Let us take a look at this hand.
And a 6 rolls off on the turn.
Check, check on the flop.
Never seen this hand in my life.
Vogelsang, ace high. A firm grip of the fact that Justin does have hands like he has. 3x, 4x that don't pair. This bet for Justin sort of makes itself, picking up some real world equity.
Got the gut shot straight draw.
I like the sizing that he chose. He bet 2/3 of the pot roughly, so didn't bet something that made it easy for these ace high no straight draws to continue. He put a little more mustard on it.
If this guy calls here, and I will never
I
miss
think
another
Christoph
eyeball.
will call though, and he does. A master of saying, I think.
Yeah, as he's reaching for the chips there,
just
Sheldon.
as
huh?
I see him reach, though, you know, I got that timing down pat.
And the river is a 7, ace high. Still the best hand, but
Justin, with all sorts of blockerish things going on, certainly finding himself with 9 high, will be betting this river if checked to him, I believe.
which it has been.
With an 8, not like 8-9 is super credible, but is he perhaps considering a lead of some sort? He's checked already, and of course Bonomo is not just going to check and give up here.
There's a
That's
buck
what I'm
12 in
saying.
the middle, and this feels like an
That's why
overbet,
I call.
possibly?
That's why the call is so bad.
What's the
because
number?
bottom of the
Bet
comment.
70, I believe, and 112. I would not be.
No, 117.
I bet 117
Into
into 112. Okay, something that he will do balanced and correctly. I would not be blown away to see Vogelsang call here. I think it's very live.
Well, listen,
very
it's
possible.
easier said than done. You're sitting on
It's
ace
actually
8.
170. Oh, I know, absolutely.
Wow, a big overbet, and it has piqued the interest and suspicion of Christoph Vogelsang.
For
because
starters,
it's
Bonomo's
polarizing.
betting more of his 3-4 on the flop than he's checking. This is very close for Vogelsang, and
Justin Bonomo against Christoph Vogelsang, super high roller bowl 3. What will Christoph do here? Fold, call, or raise? Answers, please. Bonomo overbetting the pot with 9 high, sent Vogelsang deep into the tank. Like you trust me, never go out to eat with the guy who'll tank for 10 minutes on appetizer orders. But what decision does the German finally come to? Answers, please.
What is real world equity?
2
Yeah, I don't
spots in the
understand any of that
quarterfinals on the line.
When do we answer them?
Answers, please. Fold, call, or raise.
I have no idea what he does. Can we have a stud 8, River?
Need an answer from everybody, please. Norman Chad.
What is this, the album version of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida? They gotta give me an answer, don't they?
Well, you've got to give us an answer before we can give you an
Type
answer.
it in, idiot.
I
Type
hit it
in.
already.
Mike, I'm talking to Norman. You're good.
Oh, I thought I was good. Jeez. You know, even for a game show host, if you were any dumber, you would be a doornail.
That may be true, but I'm here. All I need is one answer. All I've asked for is one answer. It's a simple request
I gave you the answer.
from the guy who just learned how to punch enter on his keyboard.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me. My tournament life is on the line here. Help me out.
Norman, we have your wager, but we need an actual answer. Fold, call, or raise.
I've hit it. I've hit it several
Oh,
times.
hey, you have
I'm
to
sorry.
type it in.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
don't
gotta
click
cheat.
it. You can't click.
He's the full color raise. He's trying to click on the thing in the middle. You can do it,
Norman
buddy.
trying to click on our interactive video screen on the big blind. That wasn't
Don't worry, I
budgeted for
tried
us
that.
this year.
I tried it first also. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Can I get points for that? Can I get points for just typing it in?
All right, our answers are finally in. Sorry, Christoph, I was making fun of you for tanking with Norman. My God. Let us see how this hand plays out.
As the human nature may take over me seeing the hands, I'm inclined to lean call. I feel like I'd lean call anyway. It's so close. Great call.
I'll tell you what, it's not a good feeling when you roll the 9 high over to see that your man called you with the ace 8.
Vogelsang finds a call with the ace high, the definition of a hero call. Now it is time to check out what our contestants said and how much they wagered. We start with our shortest stack going into this. That would be Sarah Herring. She said call. That is correct. Let's take a look at what she wagered. She wagered every single chip, 6,600. So that catapults Sarah up to 13,200 in chips to close out this game. Next, we go to Norman Chad. Norman Chad said call. That is correct. Norman Chad wagered 3,100 plus his AARP card, by the way. That 3,100 gets him to 13,300 with a 100 chip lead. So it all comes down to this. Let's take a look at Mike Matusow's answer. He says fold. That is incorrect. If he wagered any more than 0, he drops out of second place, and Sarah Herring is moving on to the quarterfinals along with Norman Chad, who has already won it. Let's take a look at what Mike wagered. Mike wagered a total of 0. And that means Sarah Herring and Mike Matusow are tied for second place at 13,200 in chips. Who moves on to the quarterfinals? A special video tiebreaker when we come back.
He shakes his head, just calls like, "Oh, I got fucking ace 8 high. It's good for all these chips." I think Helmuth is right. They're a bunch of idiots. They just never fold.
Back here on the big blind with a special video tiebreaker to determine who finishes in second place, who moves on to the quarterfinals alongside our winner, Norman Chad. Norman finished this matchup with 13,300 in chips, and both Sarah Herring and Mike Matusow tied for second place with 13,200. That means we move on to another video tiebreaker. No wagers here, just this clip from the 2016 World Series of Poker main event.
Under the gun is a 25-year-old poker pro originally from Chicago, lives here in Vegas. Ryan Tosick with pocket queens, a raise to $35,000. Deeb sits with almost $1.5 million from Troy, New York, born, bred, and resides. A raise, 3 bets to $102,000. Raymer now in the small blind, looks down at 7 of spades, 7 of diamonds.
If it were an 8 of spades and 8 of diamonds, he'd have to play it. That was his winning hand from 04.
Strong fold by Raymer. So now the re-raise back to Tosick. Tosick's gonna make the call, $246,000 in the pot. The blind's 8 and 16,000 with a 2K ante. All right, here's our flop, 9, 9, 10. Tosick checks his pocket queens. Sean Deeb reaching for chips. 73,000. Tosick tosses in a call, each wondering if a 9 could be in the other's playbook. Turn card is a deuce. Another check from Tosick. Deeb reaching for chips. Deeb bet this time 173.
He bet 73 on the flop, now 173 on the turn. What's with 73?
They could be paying homage to Barry Bonds.
Well, then that bet should have an asterisk.
Oh, very nice. Now Tosick with the paired board, but all those undercards out there to his pocket queens.
Of course, if I had Tosick's arms, I would wear tank tops too.
Tosick makes the call. River card now is another deuce. Tosick checks a third time.
I've got to believe Deeb is going to bet 373, maybe 473.
On.
Ooh, all in, effectively 371, which is the amount of Tosick stack.
Tough decision for Tosick.
Oh man,
I
wish this wasn't televised. It looks so bad if I'm wrong. Clock.
That's a big trend at this main event. We've seen the clock called a lot. People are tired of the slow play.
Wow, he called the clock that fast?
He
It
did.
was like 10 seconds.
It was slightly edited, Mike, slightly edited. All right, so which
wow.
hand does Sean Deeb have? Does he have aces? Does he have the ace deuce of diamonds? Does he have the queen jack of hearts? Or does he have the 8-7 of hearts? Send in your answers, please. A berth in the quarterfinals is on the line.
This has got to be the best big blind ever. Think about it. The three of us finished within 100 chips. You have a tiebreaker. It's got to be the best big blind ever.
Best ever. And I just put in a guess, like, just put it in. Mike, I can't take this sweat anymore. I'm a pregnant woman who has to peek, and you just, like, put in an answer and let's effing go.
You know what?
My answer's in.
Sarah, he did just that. So let us take a look at the answer.
I call. Aces. Nice hand.
Aces and goodbye, Ryan Tosick.
Nothing.
Sarah knew this one. Boom.
Like I was just praying for like a diamond.
It's the
or
perfect
something.
one. I feel like I have all the misdraws.
Yeah, you have like ace 5, ace 3, all diamonds, spades, whatever.
It was pocket aces. Let's take a look at Mike Matusow's answer first. He says it was the queen jack. That is incorrect. If Sarah gets this, Sarah moves on to the quarterfinals. Sarah says pocket aces. And just like that, Sarah Herring advances to the quarterfinals alongside Norman Chad. Mike, I'm sorry. Thank you, though, for playing.
I feel bad. This is what happens to Mike the Mouth at the end of every tournament. I just feel really bad for him. This is incredible. He had no shot of not making the money.
Mike, you seem
Nice
shocked,
job, Sarah.
stunned.
You have to understand what just happened here. What just happened here is you put two media people that have probably seen this hand 400 times in somebody that's never seen a clip of that one time. And I don't know why he moved all in on the river. I just like,
Mike,
it's three-handed.
Mike,
Maybe my meta is, I'm like a German, like a Sean Deeb. Like I know what they have all the time.
and Mike, I
maybe you
know
just didn't
Sarah
know.
Herring pretty well. She doesn't watch many World Series of Poker main event episodes.
I would never have moved in. I would never have moved him. 2 aces. That's just me.
Well, it was the aces. Sarah, congratulations. You move on. Norman, congratulations to you. Norman, your last cash in a poker tournament was in 2014. Does it feel good to find a win in some form in a poker-related event?
I'd like to thank all the tech support people. I'd like to thank my wife, Tony. I'd like to thank Daisy.
You
who had a
understand?
really good
You guys
this morning.
understand
Thanks,
what
thanks.
happened.
The tech support people did the
Everything had
best
to go
job,
wrong.
guys. Just trust us on this. Norman, you also take home the Full Tilt Poker Strategy Guide featuring a chapter from the great Mike Matusow. Thanks so much to our contestants for playing. Thanks so much to our crew. Thanks so much to you all for watching. We will see you next time on The Big Blind.
No, I'm pissed right now. I mean, that's bullshit.